Good morning, everyone. In the last class, we are trying to discuss with the loops related concepts here. Like first, we identified the while loop here and how we are going to work with this particular while loop we identified. Getting the point. So later, we discuss with the do while here. So this is the simple example we identified. Along with this particular do while loop, we identified one more example here, the menu related example we implemented here. So here we implemented do block and we have a while condition. So if this particular while condition is satisfied, so this block will repeat multiple times here. Getting the point. If I'm not providing the value between these two numbers here, so this particular condition is going to return false here. So whenever the condition will returning false here, what we are doing here, we are entering into this particular switch case. We are executing this particular switch cases information. So finally, we identified one prime example as well as one sample loop related example we implemented here. Right. So today we are going to discuss one important concept called class introduction here. Getting the point. So if you observe from the first class onwards, we are trying to discuss with the class information. Right. So today onwards, so we are going to define one more variable location here. So as we are discussing here previously, so these are the variable is pointing within the main method here. So this section we are going to call it as a local variable. So today we are going to discuss the different types of variable creation here. So something called instance variable we are going to call. So what exactly the scope of this particular instance variable? So as well as what is the difference between local variable and instance variable here. Along with this, we are going to discuss with the method section here, how we are going to create a method, like how we create the main method. Same way, we are going to create a different types of methods here, different types of method. And using this particular method, we are going to do some operations here, right? So basically, first, what I want to provide here. So whenever we are trying to discuss with this particular class here, what exactly the class is going to provide, right? Basically, when we are trying to create any class here, the class is going to provide the shape and nature of the particular object. So shape and nature of the object is nothing but, so like by seeing this particular class, we can easily understand, so what exactly the class is going to perform here. Getting the point. What exactly the class is going to perform here, right? So whenever we are trying to implement, like whenever we are trying to implement any class with the help of like within our Java language here, so it's going to encapsulate it with our class here. So it's nothing but without the class, we are not going to create anything here. So it's going to start from the class here, right? So we need to understand here how much is important we need to know regarding this particular class information here. Getting the point. So to create this particular class, now what we understand here. So previously we created the syntax called class. So this is the keyword we are going to use to create this particular class here. So after creating this particular keyword, what we are doing here, we are going to provide the name of the class. So something called sample, right? So this is the name of the class. After creating this particular class, directly we connected with the main method. So today we are not going to connect with the main method. First we'll see what are the methods and variable we can create here. So for example, this is our class I'm creating here, and here now what I'm doing here, I'm trying to define the instance variables here. Instance variables here. So type we are going to specify here, name of the variable name here. Getting the point. So instance variable 1, instance variable 1, right? Now we can, what we can do, if we want to create multiple variables, so we can create multiple variables here. So something called instance variable hen. So after creating this particular variable, what we are doing here, we'll try to connect with our methods here. So this is the syntax I'm trying to creating here. So name of the particular class we are going to work here, and we'll try to connect with our variables here. Whenever we are trying to create with the variable here, first what we need to understand here, the type we need to understand. So we already discussed what are the data types we are having in Java. So along with this particular type, now what I'm doing here, I'm going to provide the name of the variable name. And same way, whenever we are trying to connect with our method, first we'll create a type here. So first we'll create a type here, and after this we'll try to provide the method name. And if this particular method is going to take any parameters here, so it's nothing but parameter list here. So we'll understand here how exactly the parameter list is going to work. So just for understand now, we need to know so what exactly the syntax is here to create this particular methods and variables here. So whenever we are creating this particular method, here what we are doing here, so this is the body of the method here, getting the point. And after this, we'll close this particular method here. We'll close this particular method here. So same way we can create so multiple methods here. How many methods we want to create? So we can create here. So there is no restrictions to create a method section here. So this is the method 2, and finally I'm going to connect with our method n here, so that n number of method we can create here. So if the particular method is expecting parameter or not, so depends on the particular example, we can use this particular parameters or not. Right. So we'll see how exactly these parameters are going to work. But now what we need to understand here, whenever we are creating this particular class, so how we are creating the variable and how we can create this particular methods here. So when we are trying to create this particular variable and method, so we are going to call it as the instance methods and instance methods. This particular variable section we are going to call it as a instance method, and along with this particular instance variable, and if we are going to add this particular method, so that we are going to call it as a members of the class. So these are the members of the classes. So what are the members here? The methods and variables. The methods and variables, we are going to call it as a members of this particular class here, right? And after creating this particular class, whenever I'm trying to create an object here, so each object, it will contain the own copy of this particular variable information here. Own copy of this particular variable information is nothing but, so for example, I'm having this particular sample class. So what I'm doing here, I'm trying to create two objects here. Getting the point? I'm creating two objects here. The first one called sample and the second one called, so S- S1 and S2, two objects I'm creating here. But if you observe, so this S1 object will contain own copy of this particular variables and method, and same way S2 also will contain own copy of the variables and method section here. So even though the methods are the same, but internal operation it's going to different here. Getting the point? So whenever we are trying to declare the objects here, so each object will contain own copy of this particular object information here. So that now we are going to get one advantage here when we are trying to creating this particular object with the help of this particular class here. Getting the point? So we can create this particular instance variables and methods. When we are trying to create an object of this particular class, we are going to have own copy of this particular object information here. Getting the point? Now, so we'll observe here how we can create this particular class example here. So for this, now what I'm doing here, I'm trying to remove this particular syntax information. So directly we'll go for this particular box class. So carefully observe here, from today onwards, we'll try to connect with this particular box class here. Okay, inside this particular box class, now what I'm doing here, I'm defining the data type here. So what is the data type we are defining? Double here. So type is nothing but the particular data type we need to specify. Double data type. And the name of the variable. So the name of the variable I'm defining as a width here. Width here. So same way, one more variable I'm defining here. Something called height here. So double depth here. So these three are the variable I'm creating here. Getting the point? So we created one class here. The name of the class we are making as a box, and after creating this particular class, we are trying to connect with our variables called width and height and depth here, right? So whenever we creating this particular class here, now what we are going to do, so we'll close this particular class brace. We'll close this particular class brace. Now I want to save this particular class. So box.java. I save this particular class called box.java. So one more class I'm creating here. One more class. So the name of the class here, box demo. So inside this particular box demo, now what I'm doing here, I'm trying to create this particular main method. So that we already identified in the previous example here. I'm trying to create this particular main method. So now we need to understand very carefully here. After creating this particular main method, what I'm doing here, I'm trying to create an object of this particular box class here. I'm trying to create an object of this particular box class here. Where we created this particular box here, in the same location, we created one class called box here. So with the help of this particular three variables here, now observe what I'm trying to do here. Getting the point? I'm creating one object here. So how we are going to create this particular object here? So with the help of this particular new operator, we are going to create this particular object here. So observe, after creating this particular object information, what I'm doing is, I'm trying to connect with one more variable called VOL. Getting the point? So VOL is nothing but volume here. One variable I'm declaring volume, so which is having the data type called double here. So if you observe, with the help of this particular box 1, now what I'm doing here, I'm trying to call with the variable called width. I'm trying to connect with a variable called width. 10 here. Getting the point? Now, so what happening internally? How we are accessing? Basically, this is the variable here. Width is a variable which is available inside this particular box class here. So directly we cannot write like this here. We cannot define like this here, because it is not a local variable here. It is not a local variable here. So we can do VOL is equals to some 20 here. VOL is equals to 20 because the variable we declare is within the main method here. Within the main method. But now, what about this particular width here? Basically, what happens internally, whenever I'm trying to create an object with the help of this particular new keyword, so the object is going to store in the heap memory like this here. So just think here, so this is our heap memory. Getting the point? So inside this particular heap memory, how many variables we are having here? So those variables we can access here. So first one call width and height. And what about this particular third one? The third variable we are having something called depth here. Getting the point? So these are the three variables we are having here. Getting the point? So this particular object information is going to access by with the help of this particular reference here. So this particular box 1 here. So this is important, we need to understand here. With the help of this particular box 1, now what we are doing here, we are trying to access this particular variable section here. We are trying to access this particular variable section here. So this is very important, we need to understand here, because so as of now, so this kind of example we did not discuss here, and how we are going to access whenever we are creating this particular new keyword here. So whenever we are creating this particular new keyword, what happens internally? So this particular box object is going to create inside the keep memory here. How this particular object is going to create? So this is the simple diagram here, which is going to show how the objects are going to create here. Now, what about this particular line number 5 here? Now, what I'm trying to do with the help of this particular reference here, I'm trying to connect with our variable call width here. So whenever I'm trying to call with the width variable here, what we are doing here, we are trying to initializing the value, so that the value is going to initialize in the heap memory here. The value is going to initialize in the heap memory here. So same way, now what I will do, I will try to provide the different values here. Height is equals to something called 20. Box 1 dot depth is equals to 30 here. Getting the point. So three variables I'm initializing the value. Getting the point. The three variables we declare in the class call box. With help of this particular reference here, we are trying to connect with our variable and we are initializing the value. Now if you observe here, after initializing the value, now what I'm doing here, box 1 dot width. Box 1 dot width here, same way, box 1 dot height, and multiplication of this particular box 1 dot depth here. So carefully observe here, even though when we are trying to initializing the value, we are using this particular object reference here. When we are trying to access this particular value, the same reference we are using here. Getting the point. So this is very important here. If we want to access this particular object information, so we need a reference here. So without this particular reference here, we cannot access the variable section which are available inside this particular box class here. So now what we are doing here, this particular line here, we are trying to perform some multiplication operation here, so that we are going to get the volume of this particular box here. Now finally, now what I'm doing here, I'm trying to print this particular volume of this particular box here. Getting the point. So volume of this particular box with the reference of this particular volume, we are going to print here. So finally, now what I'm doing here, I'm trying to save this particular box demo and close this particular heap section. So with the help of this particular box demo, what we are going to do, we'll try to connect with our box class CMD. Here, which class we need to compile? So which class which is having the main method here? The box demo having main method. So I'm trying to compile here. So somewhere we did not close the particular semicolon here. So where we need to close here? Here we need to close our semicolon here. Now clear the console, compile one more time. So it's compiled successfully. Getting the point. It is compiled successfully. So with the help of this particular Java command, we are going to execute this particular example. Now observe here the volume of this particular box here, something called 6000 here. Getting the point. Now what happens here? If I'm going to use without this particular box 1 here, I'm trying to connect with the variable called width here. Getting the point. So let me compile one more time. So what happening internally? Cannot find the symbol here. So what is the symbol cannot find here? The variable called width here. So now you can see the variable called width in the class called box box demo here. Getting the point? The name of the variable called width, the compiler cannot find the where you declare this particular variable here. Where you declare this particular variable. In the line number, which line number we are getting an error? The line number 8 we are getting an error here. Getting the point? So if it is a local variable, the compiler can easily understand here because now we are inside the main scope here. But if we observe, so this particular width, it is not, we did not declare this particular width variable inside this particular main method here. So the compiler cannot understand here from where this particular variable is coming. From where this particular variable is coming here. Getting the point? So sometimes what happens here, we created an object here. So if we create an object here, directly we cannot access the variable information here. So we need some reference here, right? The reference we are making here, something called box1 here. So this is the simple example which is going to provide more information here. Anyone having any questions regarding this particular box demo as well as our box example here?
Yeah. So I have one curious question. So if we don't save demo box class in the same path, so will it going to impact anything?
Yes, if you are not using within the same the particular folder, we need to import this particular box here. Otherwise, compiler cannot understand here where this box class where you define.
Okay. Okay, understood.
So, for example, like all the classes we are storing inside this particular core Java folder, right? So this particular box I am going to store in the core Java 2. Just for understanding, I'm providing the information. But now we are compiling from this particular folder called core Java here. What we need to do here, we need to provide the information. So with the help of this particular import here, with the help of this particular import core Java 2, so dot box. So whenever we are giving this particular information, compiler will go to this particular folder and is going to check this particular box class here. So we'll see this particular import statement when we are trying to discuss with our packages here. So inside this particular package, we are going to create a different types of classes with different locations here.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So any other questions? Okay. So observe here, we created one simple object here. Now what I'm doing here, I'm going to create multiple objects here. So with the help of this particular multiple objects here, so what happens internally? Right. Now let me create one more object here. So these are the okay. So two objects are enough. We'll create another one later. I'm creating box 1 and box 2 here. Right. So with the help of this particular box 1, I'm going to use this particular 3 variable initialization, and same thing I'm going to connect with our box 2 here. So this particular box 2 is going to have different values here. The different value is something called 369. Right. Only the difference here, I'm making here box 2 here. Now what you are understanding here, I'm creating one box 1 as well as I'm creating one more box 2 here. Right. So I'm trying to initializing the value with the help of this particular references here, box 1 reference and box 2 reference here. Finally, now what I'm doing here, the same operation I'm going to perform here. The same operation I'm going to perform, the multiplication operation. So to find out the value of this particular box here. Right. And after this, I'm going to print the same value. Finally, with the help of this particular, the same volume reference here, now what I am doing here, I am going to connect with our box 2 here. I am going to connect with our box 2. So we need to understand the difference between the two object information here. So when we are trying to create a multiple objects here, so each and every object it's contain own copy here. Getting the point? It cannot have the same information to the other objects here. Now observe, with the help of this particular box 2 reference here, again I'm trying to multiply the all the variables here. Again I'm trying to print this particular section. If we observe, even if two objects are same here, what we need here, this particular the volume of each and volume of this particular box, we need the same output here. Getting the point? So if two objects are same, we are going to get the volume as same. If the two objects are different, we are going to get the different outputs here. First we'll run the simple example. Later we'll see how exactly this particular values are going to compile here. Here we are. Okay, so compile the box demo. It is compiled. Execute here. Now you can observe the box 1 we are getting as a 6000. The box 2 we are getting as a 162. Getting the point? Now what I will do, so here I will print here system.out.println box 1. And I'm going to print box 2 here. So carefully observe here, whenever I'm trying to compile and execute, now you can observe the references we are having different here. Getting the point? Whatever the reference we created here, both are having different here. So now what you are understanding here? Getting the point? If you observe, basically as we discuss here, whenever we are trying to create this particular object with the help of this particular new keyword here, the objects are going to store into this particular heap memory here. Heap memory here, right? But finally, what we need to understand here, so this section having up to this section having for the box 1 and this section having for the our box 2 reference here. Getting the point? But both objects are having into the same heap memory location here. So if you carefully observe, this object 1 is pointing to the above one, and this particular object 1 is pointing to this particular below one here. Right. So because of, let me add, so this is the width and height and depth here. What are the values we are initializing here? Something called 10. So 20. Finally 30 we are initializing. But what about this particular width here? So this section having 3. This particular width having 3 and height is having 6 here and depth will having some value called 9 here. But how we are differentiating these two object information with the help of this particular reference variable. So this particular reference variable are very important here. Basically with the reference variable only we are initializing the value, we are accessing the value. Getting the point? Now what you are understanding is, whenever we are creating new objects here, the new object reference is having the different information. So because of this particular new reference here, we can have own copy here. Now you can observe this particular object and this particular object, both are same here? No, both are not same here. Getting the point? So they are having unique information here. They are having unique information here. So how we can understand here whether they are having the unique information or not? Now you can check here, this particular reference is having the different information here. Getting the point? So this is very important here when we are trying to work with multiple values here. So how exactly the multiple objects like multiple values are going to work here. Okay, so back to here. Now what I want to do, here I want to connect with one more example. So before going to connect here, basically in the same line, what we are doing here, we are trying to declaring an object as well as we are trying to initializing this particular object here. So sometimes what happens here, we want to access this particular reference outside of any the particular scope here. Outside of any scope here. So for example, what I'm trying to do with the help of this particular condition block, some condition I'm trying to define here. Inside this particular condition, if the condition is satisfied here, now I'm going to create one object here. Getting the point? So now I created this particular object here. I want to access this particular object outside of this particular condition here. Getting the point? So basically, if I'm going to define this particular, the whole line inside this particular conditional block here, we cannot access outside of this particular condition like this here. So we cannot access the box 1 dot width is equals to some 10 here. So we may get some error here because we're trying to access outside of this particular scope here. So inside of in these conditions here, what we can do here, we can go for the declarations and the initialization of this particular object here. So how we can declare here? So basically box 3 here. So this section is going to provide the declaration here. Getting the point? The line number 5 is going to provide the declaration here, right? And the line number 6, what I'm doing here, with the help of this particular box 3, now what I'm doing is, I'm going to create one more box here. But if you observe, this particular reference and this particular reference is same here, right? Just only the difference here, we are declaring the line number 5 and the line number 6 here, we are creating an object and the same object we are allocating into the particular reference called box 3. So now what you are understanding is, this particular section we can define inside this particular condition and we can close this particular condition. So we are not going to get any errors here because we declared this particular object information outside of this particular conditional block, right? And if the condition is satisfying here, we'll create the particular object here. We'll create an object and we'll coming out of this particular conditional block. With the help of this particular box 3, we can work with different types of variables here. So box 3 dot width, we can initialize the value or we can access the particular variable here. So this is also important here, like declaring an object and allocating an object here. So now with the help of this particular declaring and initializing, like allocating an object here. So sometimes what happens here, so when we are trying to declare this particular object information, so we are not going to access the particular variables here. We're not going to access this particular variable here. With the help of this particular variable, we are not going to get any object information here. Object information in the sense, we are not going to get any the variable which we declare in the particular class level, the variable we cannot access here. But when we can access here, whenever we are trying to connect with our box 3 is equals to new box. Whenever we are trying to connect with our help of this particular new keyword, so then only we can call these 3 variables information here, right? So this is also we need to understand here. Not only these particular variables here. So if I'm going to add other information inside this particular class, if I'm going to provide any methods information or if I'm going to provide any the constructor information, after creating this particular class, we can able to access those informations as well here. Getting the point? So just for understanding what I want to provide here, when we are trying to declare your object here, so whatever the information we are having inside this particular class, we cannot access those information here. Right. Now, I'm going to connect with our one more example here with the help of here object reference variable here. So now we understand here the simple variable information which is having the the data type value. But here what I'm doing here, I'm going to make as a object reference variable. Object reference as a variable here. How we can create here? So for example, I'm trying to connect with our object 3. Object 3 is a variable here. Getting the point. So as of now, object 3 is a variable. The type we are having here, box type here. So carefully observe here. So this particular volume is a variable. It is having the data type called double. Same way, the box 3 also having the variable name and which is having the type called box. So this particular variable we are going to call it as a object reference variable here, because it is not a primitive data type here. We created as a one custom data type here. Getting the point. The class we created as a custom data type here. So this section we are going to call it as a object reference here. Object reference variable here. Right. Now observe here. With the help of this particular object reference variable, now what I am doing here. With the help of this particular object variable reference here, so you need to understand here. Box 3 is equals to box 2. So carefully observe here. What I am doing here, I am declaring one variable called box 3. Okay, otherwise, so here we can do box 3 is equals to box 2. Getting the point. So I declared the line number 5 and I am initializing the reference variable here. So how I am trying to initializing here? With the reference of box 2 here. So it's nothing but we are copying one object into the another object here. Right. We are copying an object into the another object here. So with the help of this particular object 3, so directly what I am going to do. So directly I will print this particular object information with the help of 3 here. So with the help of box 3 here. Getting the point. Now we need to understand very carefully here box 2 and box 3 here. Getting the point. Basically, without creating with a new operator here, now what I am doing here, I'm just copying whatever the object 2 information we are having, those information we are copying into this particular object 3. Whenever we are copying like this, what happens internally? Whatever the variables we are having here, the variables we are going to access by the 2 reference variable here. So those are having 2 reference variable can be accessed here. So let's see the simple example how it's going to connect here. It's compiled successfully. I'm trying to run the same example. If we observe the both object volume same and the both object reference also same here. Cutting the point. Now you can see the last 2 object information here. So these 2 are having the same reference and the last 2 also having the same volume here. But only the difference here, the reference we are using different here. Carrying the point. So this is also important here. Whenever we are trying to copy one object into another object here, how exactly the objects are going to copy here. So let's see. Basically, this section we are going to have so the variables something called width and height and double here. Getting the point. So these 3 variables accessed by these 2 references here, box 2 as well, box 3 here. Getting the point. So these 2 sections we are going to access both variables here. Right. Now what I am doing here, now what I want to do, I want to change the information here. So what are the information I'm going to change here? Okay. With the help of this particular box 3, so I want to increase something called 100. Box 3 dot height is equals to something called 15. box 3 dot depth is equals to something called 12. Cutting the point. So these are the three variables I'm declaring here. And after this, what I'm going to do, again, I will try to perform the volume operations here. Again, I'm trying to perform the volume operation. So what we need to understand here, when we are trying to change with the values information with the one object reference here, so which is going to affected into the both the objects here. So that is I want to provide. Now you can observe. So with the help of this particular box 3, I'm trying to change the volume here. I'm trying to reinitializing the volume here. So observe here, initially we are having 369. The 369 is going to override with 159 to 12 here. Getting the point. Now we need to understand the volume of this particular box here. If this particular object is not going to change, so this particular line number we need to get a different value. So as well as this particular println method needs to return the different value here. Getting the point. So now we need to understand the last two statements here. So what are the values it's going to print here? What are the values it's going to print here? Let's see. Compile one more time. Now you can execute here. Getting the point. Now we can focus more the last two println statements here. We are having the same output or not? Getting the point. We are having same output or not? Now what you understand here? Even though with a different reference here, if we are trying to change this particular object information, so which is going to reflected into the other object reference as well here. Because of both the object reference are having same reference here, both are pointing to the same object here. Both are pointing to the same object here. So now you can see here, both are having the same reference here. So this we need to understand very carefully when we are trying to copy here. But only the difference here, if I'm going to use with a new keyword here. With a new keyword here, we may get different reference here. So when we are getting this particular different reference here, so the object is having own copy of the particular variable information here. Right. So this is all about the object creation and initializing value and accessing those values here. Getting the point. So in this location, we are initializing the value and in this location, we are accessing the value. So if I want to print this particular single value, getting the point. With the help of this particular method here, now what I'm doing here, box1 dot width. Getting the point. So same way, I want to print box 2 here. I want to print box 2. So to understand more information, after printing this particular line number, here I want to print box 2 dot width. So initially the box 2 dot width we are having 3. Initially the box 2 dot width we are having 3. Getting the point. But now what I'm doing here, with the help of this particular box 3, with the help of this particular box 3, we are reinitializing the value. Right, we are changing the particular width value here. Now what we need to understand here, after printing this particular references here, so we are going to print what is the value which is resides in this particular box 2 dot width here. And finally, what I'm printing here, the box 1 and box 2 here. Getting the point, box 1 and box 2 here. Now you can see, compile the box demo and it's compiled and you can execute here. Observe here, after 3 references here, basically 100 we are getting here. 100 we are getting. But now what you understand here? So it is reflecting into the box 2 or not? Because with the reference of box 3, we change the value. With the reference of with the reference of this particular box 3, we change the value. So which is reflected into the box 2 as well. Which is reflected into the box 2 as well here. So same way, with the reference of this particular box 1, we are trying to load an object, the variable information here. Getting the point. So any questions regarding this particular copy object and accessing the variable as well as initializing the particular variable information here?
Do we have any limitation like no for that reference? How many objects can be created? I mean, for the same memory location, how many reference objects can be created?
We can create basically the copy object information. Only one object is going to store the memory for the remaining. So just is going to share the reference information. But here, if we want to create with the new object references here, so we need to increase our heap memory size here. So we cannot create a bulk of object here because we are going to get out of memory errors. So for this, so we need to provide the memory information in our the project structure we are going to provide here. But the simple example, it's not a matter. We can create an object here.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So any other questions? Okay. Now, so we need to check with the methods information here. Getting the point. So as of now, we discussed with the variable section. Now we are going to discuss with the methods information. So like how exactly the method we can create here. So like in the particular class, if I'm going to create this particular method, so what exactly the behavior of this particular methods here? Getting the point. Now we need to understand here. Let me go to the same box class here. So inside this particular box class here, now what I'm creating here, I'm going to connect it with our methods here. Inside the same box class, we'll create a methods here. Now, so the type of the method section and identified here, we need to work with what exactly the data type we are going to create here. The data type, we can specify any data type here. But for understanding here, I'm not going to provide any data type as of now because I'm not returning any value from this particular method here. So what is the method I'm trying to provide? Something called volume. So volume is a method which we are declaring inside this particular box class here. Right. Now system dot out dot print I want to provide here. So now let me provide the message volume of this particular box here. So when we are trying to provide this particular message, what happens internally? On the console, we are going to get this particular message. And later, now, system dot out dot println. I'm trying to connect with our println method. Here, width into height into depth here. Getting the point. So these are the message I'm going to print with the help of this particular multiplication here. With the help of this particular multiplication, whatever the value, the return value we are going to get, the return value we are going to print in our console here. Right. So we created one method called volume, and the volume is going to print this particular two println statements here. But observe here, we are not using any references here. Getting the point. We are not using any references here because we are inside the same class here. We are not outside of this particular class here. So this is very important. We need to understand here. We are not inside we are inside the same class. So without any reference here, we can access the particular variables here. Only we need to understand here how these particular values are going to reflected into these three variables here. Okay. Observe here, I'm trying to save this particular box class here with the help of this particular box demo. With the help of this particular box demo, now I want to comment out this all the sections here. This all the sections here. Right. Now I comment out this particular all the sections. So we'll try to focus. What happened here? Here we need to work here. Okay. Now how we can call this particular value method? Getting the point. How we can call this particular value method here? Let me copy this particular two objects information first. Here I want to create two objects here. Box 1 I do, box 2 I'm creating here. So with the help of this particular box 1, now what I'm doing here, I'm trying to initializing the three variables here. Getting the point. So box 1 I'm trying to initializing here. Right. So same way, what I'm doing here, I'm going to initialize with the help of this particular box 2. With the help of this particular box 2 here. Right. Now all the three variables we initialize here. Now what I'm doing here I'm trying to call box 1 dot volume. Getting the point. Here I'm calling box 1 dot volume here. So same thing, box 2 dot volume. Getting the point. So careful observe here. We created two objects here. With the help of this particular two objects here, we are trying to initializing the value. Getting the point. Same way with the two objects we initialized here, and after initializing here, we are calling this particular value method here. We are calling this particular value method here. So whenever we are calling this particular value method, we need to understand one thing here. So basically, compiler is going to check here. So this particular value method, so which is defined or not. Right. So if it is defined, where it is defined here? What we need to understand here? First, the compiler is going to check this particular reference here. Right. The reference having the type here. The type we are having called box here. The compiler, what it will do, it will go to this particular box class. Inside this particular box class, whether we are having the value method or not. Getting the point. Compiler is going to check value method is defined or not. So if it is defined, it's going to execute. So otherwise, so we are going to get an error here. The particular method is not defined something. Some error message we are going to get. The cannot find the symbol. Cannot find the symbol we are going to get here. Right. So we need to understand whenever we are trying to creating this particular value here, we need to carefully create an object with the help of this particular object reference we need to call here. Right. So this section we are going to call it as a calling here. This section is going to we are going to call it as a calling here, and the called section which is available inside this particular same method. So see carefully, when we are trying to define any method, we are going to provide the method body here. Method body in the sense we are opening one brace and we are closing one brace here. So without the inside this particular value method, if we want to perform anything, we can define like this here. We can define like this here. Whenever we are defining here, so it needs to call from the some location here. It's need some caller here. The caller we are going to call from the box demo with the help of this particular reference here. With the help of this particular reference here. Getting the point. So now what we are doing here? Now what we are doing here? So basically, whenever we are calling this particular value method, so internally it is performing the multiplication operation. It's going to return the some value here. It's going to return the some value here. So now clear the console, time to execute our same example and execute here. So 6162. Right. So these are all the information we are getting here. The same information we got from the different method. We print the same output with the help of this particular inside the box demo here. When we are trying to connect with our box demo, so without the reference here, we cannot access the variable here. But now within the same class, we don't have any reference information, so directly we are able to access information here. But how this particular values we are having here, how this particular variables having the value, because we initializing this particular section here. We are initializing this particular section here. So the section we are having the object reference here. Now let me create here. Basically, inside this particular heap memory, again we are going to have these three variables, and along with this particular three variable, we are going to have value method here. Value method here. Getting the point. So now this particular section, it's going to point with our box 1. It's going to point with our box 1 here. Right. So it is a width and it is a height and it is a depth. So whenever we are initializing it, the values are directly initialized with these particular variables here. So these three variables are going to initialize here. These three variables are going to initialize here. So because of this, simply we can access this particular variables without getting any error here. Getting the point. So this is a simple example on the method creation, and after creating this particular method, how we are accessing this particular method. Right. Now, what I'm trying to do with the help of this particular same method, now I want to return the value. I want to return the value here. Getting the point. So to return the value, what exactly we are going to perform here? Let me comment out this particular method section. Getting the point. Now one more method I'm trying to create. So to return the value, we need to provide the data type here. So what is the data type we want to return here? Basically, we are having these three variables as a same data type here. So that I'm trying to connect with our same data type here. Again, I'm trying to connect with our same method here. So simply, I'm using return statement here. Simply, I'm using return statement here. So what exactly this particular return statement is going to work here? What exactly the return statement is going to work? So basically, it's going to return whatever the value we are going to get with the help of this particular multiplication here. So first it's going to multiply these three variables here. Whatever the value we are going to get, the value we are trying to return from this particular method here. Getting the point. So carefully observe here. Whenever this particular method is returning something, if this particular method is returning something, now what we can do, here we need to create a one more variable. So here we need to create a one more variable because this particular method is returning some value. Getting the point. This particular method is returning some value. The value I'm trying to initializing into this particular variable called VOL. So after this, what we can do, directly we can print this particular value here. Directly we can print this particular value here. And after this, we can connect for the different variable and we can print here. So this is the different scenario if this particular method is trying to return some value. So previously, without returning the value, we directly print within the same class here. But now what we are doing here, with the help of this particular return value, we are trying to handle inside this particular main method. So we are going to print the same example here. Java C box demo.java and execute here. So same output we are getting here. Same output we are getting here. So this is, we need to understand very carefully here. If the method is returning something, how we can access here. If the method is not returning something, how we can handle here. And one more here. So instead of defining variable here, so we have a different scope to understand here. Directly we can add like this. Directly we can add like this here. Getting the point? So whenever we are trying to add like this here, whatever this particular value method is returning, the value is going to append with this particular string. The whole string value is going to print by this particular println method here. Now I'm trying to comment out these two println statements here, so that we are stopping here calling up this particular value here. So directly here we are calling this particular value method here. So the value method, whatever the value we are trying to return, so the value is going to appended with this particular string message, and the whole string is going to print by this particular println method here. The whole string is going to print by this particular println method. Now I want to compile one more time and execute here. The same thing we are getting or not? Now you can see, we save the example here. The same value we are getting here. The same value we are getting here. So these are the different ways to call this particular method here. These are the different ways to call the particular method here. Getting the point? So this is very important here. In the which scenario we can go for this particular return type method, and which scenario we can go for the without returning any method. So basically in the real-time example here, whenever we are trying to connect with our example, so we'll try to return some value here. So why we'll try to use some return value here? Because so the architecture we are going to create like this here. In the real-time example here, some resource classes we are going to create here. From the resource classes, we will connect with our service classes here. So from the service classes here, we'll connect with our database classes here. Getting the point? So whenever in the resource classes, if I'm trying to perform any operations here, we'll connect our service class methods here. Getting the point? Service class method. The service class method, if it needs to return some value here. So based on some condition, we'll call the service class method. The service class methods are going to return some value. So same way how we are trying to define like this here. The service class methods are going to define like this here. Getting the point? So for this purpose, these are the return type of methods we will use mostly in the service class, and same way we can define inside the database classes also. So for the database classes here, what we are going to do, and we'll try to connect with our database to load an object here. Once the object is loaded, we need to return the loaded object here. How we are going to return the loaded object here? With the help of this particular method only. So careful observe here, in the which scenario we are going to connect with our this particular methods here. In the which scenario we are going to connect here. But now, so when we can use this particular method call, so this particular section here, getting the point? In the resource classes, basically first we'll create this particular methods here. From this particular method, we'll call this particular method with the help of service classes or with the help of database classes here. So sometimes what happens here, we'll have one ID here. Some ID value we are going to get with the help of this particular ID value. So directly we can connect with our database to load an object here. So once object is loaded, the loaded object is going to return by these particular methods here. But name of the method, maybe it's different here. The purpose of the method is same here. Final performing any operations here, the particular method is needs to return some value here. Getting the point? Basically, whenever we are trying to define any method, the each and every method we will define the unique purpose here. So we cannot define the common purpose here, because based on our requirement, we are going to create a method and will return the value, getting the point. So this is going to depends on our requirement here, right? Now simple understand here, with the help of this particular ID, we load an object here, and the loaded object will return by this particular methods here. So in this case we can use here, but this particular method is going to call from the void value method here, right? So these are about the method creation and the usage of this particular method. This is very important concepts we are discussing here, because in the real time, so without creating a method, we cannot create any single line of code here. Without this particular method, we are not going to create any single line of code here. So you can think how much is this particular methods are important here. Okay. So back to here, we understood here with the help of without return value, with a return value. Now, what I want to do, if this particular method is going to take any parameters here, if this particular method is going to take any parameters here, so how exactly we can work here? So simple example here. Now observe, I'm having one method, getting the point. I'm having one method, the method called square here. This particular square every time will return 10 into 10. Getting the point. So carefully observe here, how many times I'm going to call this particular square method. Every time I'm going to return the same volume or not. So observe here. So carefully observe, if this particular square method we are having here, every time this particular value is written the same here. So I don't want to return the same value. Based on our input here, I want to get an output here. How we can achieve here? Based on input here, I want to get it an output here. So the square, if I'm going to define, so observe, this particular square method is taking integer as a parameter, getting the point. Now I'm trying to return I into I here, getting the point. So carefully observe here. So sometimes what happens internally, how many times we are calling this particular square will return the same value. But if you observe, for this particular square method, based on this particular input here, whenever we are calling this particular square method, we need to provide some values here. We need to provide some values here. So for example, I'm having box1 dot. You can think this is a square method. This particular square method, previously we did not pass any values, but now currently I want to pass 10. What happens internally? The square method is going to execute here. It will return some random value. So same thing, if I'm going to change this particular 100 here. If I'm going to change this particular 100 also, the same square method is going to execute here, but the output is we are going to get different here. Now you can think here, instead of 100, if I'm going to change to the 100, we'll get the different value. If I'm going to change to the 30, we'll get the different value. So what about this particular square here? If I'm going to call how many times here, so it is returning same value. Now you are thinking here, how much is important the parameter information for this particular method here, because based on our requirement we are going to provide the different values here. The method structure is same here, but only the difference here, the values are going to change here. But whenever I'm trying to change this particular values here, I'm not changing any structure of this particular method here. Getting the point. So this is important here. But we are giving the dynamic input here, we are getting dynamic output here. So this is very important here, because in the real-time example, so more than one parameter we are going to create. More than one parameter in the sense here. So we'll create like this here. We'll create like this here. So int j, something called int k. We can define how many parameters we want to define. So there is no limit here. There is no limit here. We can define how many parameters we want to define here. Getting the point. Only the advantage we are going to get here, when we are trying to provide the dynamic input here, we may get dynamic output here. So instead of connect with our without the parameter method, with the parameter method here. With parameter method. So not only the int data type here, we can connect with our any data type here. Now I can pass object as a parameter also, and I can pass double as a parameter here. Getting the point. I can pass character as a parameter. I can pass boolean as a parameter here. So there is no limitation here. You can define any data type here. Any data type, any parameters. Now you can see how many parameters we are passing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 parameters here. Right. If you are not interested to define the 5 parameters, you can go for the 2 parameters. Or if you are not interested to define the box data type, you can go for the long also. Getting the point. You can define any data type here. Now we understood here how much these particular parameters are important here. So we'll have a simple example on the same our box class here. Same our box class here. Getting the point. So how we can define this particular parameters here? How we can define this particular parameters? Now understand here. I'm trying to remove this particular square example here. Now I want to connect with the particular box methods here. Right. So the box methods, how I'm trying to define here. Basically, I don't want to return anything here. Basically, I don't want to return anything here. So if I'm not returning anything, we are already identified. We are going to make as a void here. So the name of the method. The name of the method, it is important here. Any setting related method, we can start from the set here. We can start from the set here. So to understand the purpose of this particular method, by seeing the name of the method, we can easily understand here. Set dimension here. So set dimension is nothing but I'm trying to setting the value of this particular variables here. So what are the data type I'm taking here? Basically the data type I'm taking here, so same here, because we already defined above here the data type section here. So how many how many parameters I'm taking here? 3 parameters I'm taking here. Getting the point. 3 parameters I'm taking here. Now we need to understand here how I'm trying to connecting here. So this section is important here. Carefully observe what I'm doing here. Basically, I'm defining one method which is taking 3 parameters here. So what is the purpose of this particular method here? The method is to initialize the value, whatever the values which is going to carry when we are calling off this particular set dimension method. Getting the point. Now, what you understand here? When we are calling this particular method, we need to define this particular 3 parameter section, and the 3 parameter section we are initializing into the width and height and depth here. So where we define this particular width, height and depth, we define at class level here. We define at class level here. Getting the point. So this is important, we need to understand here. So now here I want to provide one more information. So whenever we are defining this section, so these variables are local to this particular method. So which variables are local to the method? These variables W, H and D. These variables are local to this particular method. Why it is the local to this particular method? Because now you can observe, we open one brace here, we close one brace here. Carrying the point, we are having limitation of scope of this particular variables here, so that what we are doing here, whatever the value we are getting here, whatever the value we are getting from the method, we are reinitializing into the instance variables here. Getting the point. The left side variables we are going to call it as a instance variable, The right side variable we are going to call it as a local variables. So this is also very important, we need to understand here. The local variable will have limitation of its scope compared to the instance variable here. So this particular instance variable we can access. So inside this particular volume method, inside this particular dimensions, and if you are defining any other methods, we can access here. But what about this particular W? Only we can access within this particular set dimension method here. Carefully observe. So this is also important, the scope of this particular variable. Now what is the purpose of this particular set dimension method? Just whatever the value we are passing, the value we are setting into the instance variables here. Right. Now we understood here. Now we understood this particular set dimension method. We'll go back to the same method called box demo. Box demo. Now what I'm doing here, I'm trying to commenting out. So this particular section here. This particular section I don't want to use. Cutting the point. So carefully observe here how I'm trying to providing here. So previously we directly connect with our variable to initialize the value. Now what I'm doing here, with the help of this particular box one. With the help of this particular box one here, now I'm going to call set dimension. We need to see the name of the method is same or not. We need to provide the same method here so that the compiler cannot get any dynamo whether this particular method is defined or not. So this is the method. This particular method is taking how many parameters here? Which is taking 3 parameters here. Right. So we need to provide the 3 parameters or not. How we can provide the 3 parameters here? So while providing the parameters, we need to think very carefully. So what exactly the data type the parameters are going to accept here. Getting the point. The parameter data types are very important here. So sometimes here, now what I'm doing here, if I'm going to provide here boolean something called false here, boolean false and 3 comma 6, because this particular set dimension is expecting only 3 parameters here. The 3 parameters here I'm passing as a false 3 comma 6. So observe what happens internally. So I save this particular set dimension method and I'm trying to call this particular set dimension method. Okay, back to here, clear the console and compile. Now you can see what is the error we are getting here. Incompatible types. Boolean cannot convert it to double. Getting the point. So this is very important here while specifying the parameters here. While specifying these particular parameters, we need to carefully what exactly the method is going to access the values here. Right. So 36 comma 9. 36 comma 9 here. So same way we are going to have box 2 also, right? Let me copy for the box 2. Here I'm trying to connect with our box 2. So 30 and 60 and 90. I change the different values here. Compile the example. So it is compiled successfully because we provided the same data type here. Now execute here. So this is the output we are getting for the particular box here. The particular box output we are getting like this here. Right. Now, so someone asking the question regarding how memory allocated in the heap for the methods here, different to void, volume and double. So basically, so it's going to access for the same here because if I observe this particular value method, this already memory is allocated for this particular variables here. Getting the point. So this particular variable is already memory allocated here. wherever the memory allocated here, from the same memory, it's going to load this particular object here. For this particular void here, now what we are doing here, so it's going to available the static memory for these three variables here. These three variables, it's not going to store into the heap memory. So these three variables are going to store into the stack memory. Why these three variables are going to store in the stack memory? Because it is having the less scope compared to this particular instance variables here. So one thread of operation is nothing but after completion of this particular set dimension here, this particular variables will not available here. Getting the point. So the variables will not available here. So because of this, these three variables are going to store into the stack memory. Basically, the stack memory, if the particular operation is completed, the stack memory is not available. But heap memory will available until unless we terminate the particular object reference here. Object reference here. Getting the point. Until unless we terminate this particular object reference here. Something called box 1 and box 2. So these are about the object reference here. When we are making null here, when we are making this particular object as a null, so at the time of this particular making null, the object is no longer available here. So this is exactly the purpose of this particular heap memory. Right. So this is very carefully we need to understand here. The memory allocation is also important here. Okay. And finally, we understand here the set dimension method. So which is going to take 3 parameters here. So previously we created one method. It's not going to take any parameter here. So simply we provided the output here. So sometimes we are going to create this particular value method. It's not going to take any parameters. It's not going to take any parameter here. But we need to understand here. So just focus on the method section, because when we are trying to connect with our Spring examples here, so we'll create a multiple types of methods here. We'll create a multiple types of method. So there we can check with the simple example on this particular methods here. But current example here, we need to understand here how we are passing this particular parameter. Once we are passing this particular parameter, how we are initializing into the instance variable here. So same way, with the help of this particular object reference here, we initialize here. But now we have a method here. We can call how many times we want to initialize the value. How many times we want to initialize the value. Getting the point. So for this particular object is going to be useful for multiple objects here. Now you can see the method we are calling from the object 1, the same method we are calling from the object 2. Only the changes here, we are passing the variables, like the parameter values we are making differently here. Cutting the point. Now you can observe for this particular input, we are getting the different output. For this particular input, we are getting different outputs here. So this is all about the method creation here. So any questions regarding this particular method parameters here?
How can we create object of different class in another class? Because box object is of another class, right?
Okay. Because we are creating, right? This is another object we are creating inside this particular another class.
Can we create like that?
So now we are creating right now. We created the object and we are performing the operations.
Okay. No, but for classes, if we want to inherit anything, we use inheritance, right? So for object, is it not that?
So don't worry the inheritance concept as of now. So just focus here, like what we are creating this object here. When we come back to the inherit section, I will explain you like how exactly the objects we can create.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Any other questions?
You will upload this, right? Because initially my internet went off. I was having weak connection.
No, yeah, we'll upload this particular current class in the YouTube, no problem.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so this is all about the method creations here. Now we understand the purpose of this particular methods here. So basically, whenever we are creating this particular method, so it will have unique purpose here. So some methods have returning the value, some methods having initializing the value, some methods having some performing operations here. So it's nothing but we are trying to work with a multiplication operation here. Getting the point. So based on our requirement, we are going to define the method here. Right. So and whatever the method we are creating here, so this particular method is going to reusable multiple times here. But only the thing here, so we are going to provide the input here. Based on input here, we are going to get an output here. Right. So now we have a one more important concept called constructor here. So this particular constructors we can discuss in our tomorrow class here. So basically, so constructors, what exactly the constructors are going to do internally, we need to understand very carefully, and what is exactly the difference between methods and the constructor. So after completion of this particular constructors here, we are going to connect with our parameterized constructor. If the parameterized constructor is available completed, we'll check with some keyword called this keyword. After completion of this keyword here, so we'll go for the OOPS related important concept we are going to discuss here. Getting the point. So the polymorphism related concept we are going to discuss, overloading methods here. Okay. So the section we are going to continue in tomorrow class here. If you don't have any questions, we can conclude the today class. We'll continue tomorrow. Yeah, sure. I will upload this particular class section.
Thank you.
Okay.